And we're live. Good day, everyone.
Good day.
Hey, happy Friday, everyone. We started the stream just a little bit early so that way we could share it with our listeners. So welcome, everyone. This is CJ with Rogue 420 here for another Cannabis Culture with Laura with Cannabis Oklahoma Magazine. They're at an exciting event. So, Laura, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce our special guest for today, please.
Well, this is Virgil Richmond. He's the owner of Redbud Elixir here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're getting to know him and his purpose of what he's got going on. We wanted to talk to him and see.
My kind of person.
Right. And John
yeah, I like it. We've been talking earlier. I tried.
You haven't been smoking on the elixir the last couple of days, right?
Yeah, I have been.
So
right
far,
on.
I love it.
It's all natural. Our stuff, of course, you know, we never use any cutting agents or anything like that. When you're smoking our stuff, you're just smoking the plant, all the medicinal parts of the plant, right? Just the good stuff, just the good stuff.
And it was really, really smooth, actually. I love it. So
CO2 extraction.
Of course, yeah, CO2 extraction. There's only a couple of us in the state to do it that way. All natural from the plant. Nothing inside of our stuff that we didn't personally take from the plant in our lab.
And it's him and his father.
That's right.
And that's amazing. His father's
I know. He wanted to be here with us today. I locked him in the lab. He's doing some stuff in there with
he's the mad
some
scientist.
Yeah, he is. 40-year chemical engineer. He's like my own little Heisenberg. It's amazing. He's
cool.
Friend. He's my partner in the company. It's
That's
awesome.
That's awesome. We're at Green Grow here. All the vendors are getting ready to set up, but we're just kind of hanging out. So, we were talking the other day about your product and the current situation.
You just the scare that's going out there with vaping. I mean, I think really people need to start getting educated on what it is that they're smoking. There's a lot of different options out there. There's a lot of really good options out there. You just need to ask what the cutting agents are inside of your vapes.
That's what I've been saying.
What's it being cut?
All along, in my opinion, they're foreign vape coming in from states. They're coming in, sneaking them in, whatever. Or somebody's been working at a vape shop for 3 weeks and goes, dude, I can mix that stuff up, no problem,
Right.
And that's your illegal vape. So I hate the black market. We need to fight it, and that's what we need to do.
That's just it. I mean, and there's a lot of it out there right now, unfortunately, because we're still real early in the regulations for our state. It's looking like that's going to change pretty quickly over the next couple months, but we're still very early in that. So hoping we start weeding all that out.
Yeah, and in terms of the processing, you mentioned the processing you do. So why don't you talk a little bit too in terms of some of the cannabis that you select in terms of the whether it's either testing or things of that nature to really help you really define a better product that you're selling to the end user.
It's all in the care that you take and the steps that you're putting forth when you're going through the processing part of what it is that you're taking from the plant.
Right.
It's kind of the pre what you do before you extract. Are we going to decarb first? Is it something we're going to use and try to pull terps off of? So we're going to be very gentle with that plant. It just depends on really what kind of run we're doing. But in order, the quality really comes in what happens before extraction, what happens after extraction, how you take care of your winterization, how you're taking care of those terpenes to make sure that they don't damage, so that you're getting forth that full, healthy, everything that you're wanting from the plant, that full, everybody's using the full spectrum right now. Yeah, I know. Everyone's using it, but in all actuality, I mean, the full spectrum of that plant, what sour diesel got to offer, right? I mean, why does Jack care? Why is it great for arthritis? It's this terpene map. And so if we can put that forward in a vape, I mean, it's such a pleasure to get to do. And I mean, we're able to do it because my dad is a genius, as a chemist, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. You're specifically talking about the different terpenes, and people are starting to really understand the terpenes and how they work for certain potential health conditions, and it just fascinates me to think of all those things and how it's incorporated into the final product. And I think it does make a significant difference in terms of what products are being manufactured, what products are out there, and even more just from a consumer standpoint. So do you have any words of advice to the consumers that are out there in the dispensaries purchasing, items of what potentially they should be looking for, and then maybe just things to potentially avoid?
There's just a big difference in the way that things are processed through and kind of what they're adding to their end product. When you're talking about a THC distillate, you're really talking about just THC, just THC at its purest form, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that everything that made that an indica or a sativa or sour diesel or Northern Lights is gone, is stripped away. And so what you're left with is just the THC. And so then it's, what are we cutting it back with, right? Like what are the terpenes that you're adding back in? Are they native terpenes taken from the plant? Are they cannabis derived bought from, terpenes.com online? Are you cutting it with PG, and are you okay with that, right? I mean, do your research online. PG is everywhere. It's in a lot of vaping products. Are you okay with smoking propylene glycol? If you are, then there's some really good distillates out there. Just be aware of what it is that you're smoking. Just ask the question, what's inside of this vape? What's it cut with? There's a lot of good options out there that are CO2 extracted. I like CO2 extraction because it's what we do. A lot of people don't do it because it's so expensive, and it is such a difficult solvent to work with. But the end product is something all natural. I mean, it's something it's the way we wanted our vapes to be.
That's awesome. This is
yeah.
How's it going? I'm Virgil. It's nice to meet you.
Virgil, nice
Yes,
to meet
and
you.
he's Redbud Elixir, and he makes natural vape. You smoked it off of it yesterday, I believe. When we were
Awesome. You've been trying some of the Elixir. How'd you feel about it?
I loved it, and the reason why is the ironic thing you just said, the CO2.
Mm-hmm.
Chemist thing.
And this is
That's
Carlos.
the only, oh, hi, Carlos. Hello. That's the only way that works in my system. The butters, like the edibles and stuff, when I do the edibles, those don't work for me like they do everyone else.
Right.
Apparently, I've got what they call high metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
So it's too fast. The CO2 lets me catch up.
That's nice, right?
That way it stays.
Well, it's the entourage effect of what else is in the plant, right? I mean, it's everything that's in the plant. It's the DNA. It's what makes it a sativa or an indica or a certain strength, right?
Yeah.
So having that extra part of the plant really kind of helps give you that well-roundedness, that same medicinal feel that you would from smoking, the flower itself.
Right.
Is really what we were shooting for with our stuff.
I love it. And what other plans do you have to
Do you make tinctures or anything else?
Well, we're working on tinctures right now. As soon as we can make one,
Didn't
that
mean to
tastes
throw
good.
you off there, bud. But
No, that's okay. No, we'd love to. We're a creation company. We're not a vape company.
right on.
Yeah.
And so, we do want to make a tincture. We want to make a tincture that tastes good and is effective, and that's really tough to do. So, we're still
Can't really see me, but I'm still here.
We have a full spectrum edible line coming out also soon. So we'll have those.
Oh, you
out
got
there.
edibles too?
We will, and they'll be full spectrum also.
Cool.
Our cream RL remedy just came in silver at Cannabis
One
Cup.
second in Cannabis Cup.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Really?
It was awesome.
Congratulations.
Yes.
It was awesome. All props to my mom. It's her lotion that one for us. It was awesome. It's
Nice.
RL remedy. It's great stuff. It really is. It's amazing stuff. So we've got some bath salts and
on my
stuff that are
daughter.
coming out with that line as
It
well.
worked on her.
Did it really? That's
That's awesome.
She's
That's-
using it, so it did burn a little bit.
I
Just
would
on the very
Yeah,
because of her open, stuff.
Yeah.
So, but that was inspected, and she
but
was
then
fine
after
with it.
that, like it just that's great.
One thing that always interests me in regard to this industry, because it's still relatively new, is just a little bit more about your background and how you got started in this industry.
Sure. I've wanted to do this since college. When I was in business school back in college, I actually wrote a business plan for a cannabis, for a grow. And I turned it in as part of my, as a paper. And she gave it back to me, and she gave me a C on it and said it was well done, but I might as well have done it on a unicorn farm. So here's to you, like my unicorn farm is up and running. So
Beautiful. I love that name. I do.
unicorn farm. It
Well,
does
it's
feel
like
like
your
that sometimes,
child-
right?
yeah,
Right?
it's like your
we're in this-
childhood
We're in this
dream.
industry that is so this was a dream 10 years ago. This is something that
Yeah.
we wanted to be.
Now it's
Yeah.
I know.
I want to get your also just your input too in regards to, because I do know that things are still kind of evolving a little bit in Oklahoma, for that matter, all states, in regards to compliance, testing, all those things. How do you look at the market, and how, as an industry, do we do the responsible thing to ensuring the end user in terms of patient safety? Because I know there's just so much excitement about cannabis, about the using and everything, but I think that at the same time, we need to be mindful that this is something that's coming in the system. So how do we as an industry kind of regulate, if you will, a little bit, to ensure that we have those checks and balances?
you know, you just need to be testing your stuff. You need to be testing all along the line. You know, don't just test the beginning distillate. Test it as you're moving along, and just so you have the data points out there. I mean, to the other processors, to the growers out there. I mean, just test your stuff and be honest with yourself about it. It doesn't necessarily even have to be the reports that you're sending in, right? Like, test it along the line though, so that you know it makes a difference, and you'll be able. I mean, you're going to put out a better end product if you do anyways. Better, you know, more data points is going to be better off for you moving forward long term. Oklahoma is putting out, you know, much stricter regulations. They're kind of hard to follow right now, right? Because they're kind of all over the place. But they really are, and it makes it really tough on everyone. But they're going to get it figured out. I mean, I do think we're going to get it figured out. I think that the regulations need to be stricter. I mean, we really probably looking.
Health safety should come first.
We're
Absolutely,
I mean,
it's dosing. It's, you know, it's proper dosings. It's what we're advertising as far as THC counts, and what we're really advertising to people what that stuff does, right? I mean,
really want it to heal people.
well, that's just it, right? And again, there's some THC. You know, THC has its own value on its own. It's just, you know, I mean, if you're really trying to make something healthy, let's get those other things in there too.
other components.
Yes.
Exactly. Right, we make our lotion with a virgin RSO right off the machine. It's not cut with anything. It's just a virgin like wax off the machine because that's got the most medicinal property, right? So that's what we use in our stuff. It's 500 milligrams, 500 a 2 ounce jar. So it's chock full of it. It smells amazing.
It
smells really good.
It's really
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
We're currently sold out. We're making a bunch more of it this week.
No.
It happens like every week. Like every Friday, I'm like, yep, sorry, we'll have to get to you on Monday.
Yes. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit. So you guys are at the Green Grow Expo, and it sounds like an amazing event. I know we talked a little bit about it last week. So obviously you're going to be there presenting, potentially sampling your product as well. Is that accurate? So walk us through the event and share a little bit more about it, please.
It's just a bunch of vendors and brands getting together, creating awareness for each other. So there's going to be a bunch of brands, you know, promoting their products, meeting people, creating awareness for what they do and how they heal people in the community. And, you know, we wanted to introduce him because he's got a great purpose, and, you know, Redbud Elixir is, I support it. Cannabis Oklahoma Magazine supports it. I tried it on my daughters. You know, that works. I know. It's okay. It's okay. We've got Josh and Lindsay here, and John Frazier, and we've got, you know, Carlos, of course. But the event's not starting until tomorrow, and this is just vendor setup, basically. You know, all the businesses kind of getting ready for everything.
And you guys have the VIPs there kind of enjoying the pre-party, right, as you're setting up?
It looks like it's going to be a big deal. I mean, I was walking through here. There's some really good vendors. We don't have a booth here this year because I didn't realize until too late, because we just launched our vapes like 2 months ago. So I've pretty much lived inside the lab for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's like, you know, 2, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's kind of how it works with us too.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm
everywhere.
missing events too because I'm like over here and I'm
Love
over
it.
there.
I love it.
It's just like 20 hours of work.
Right? Yeah, 20-hour days, right? Sometimes, but you love it. You love it. But I will be here at a couple of booths. Come to our big dispensaries are here. They've asked us to come and sit with them. So it's
Yes.
That's awesome.
So I'm excited about it. Do you, are you guys?
The bath salts, yeah, actually those are in beta. So we just sent those out to start their beta testing on that. We're going to get some feedback on that. And then RL Remedy, our lotion, will have a companion with these bath salts. They were pretty amazing. The first time I did, like, I was really excited to take like a bath and this stuff, right? Because I wanted to see what was going to happen, right? So I went in like completely, you know, completely sober, like into the bathtub, soaked in there for 20 minutes, right? Got out, like I felt good because there's a bunch of oils and stuff in there. But I was like, okay, that's just, you know, normal bath salt.
Yeah,
thing,
like
I would think,
normal
right?
bath.
Got out and kind of dried off, and I'm not kidding you. For like 3 hours, my body was just like relaxed, like just
Nice.
just
like a Gumby.
just,
Wow.
It was crazy. It was great. I can't wait to get the feedback on them. We're trying to get them out in October, so they'll be out for the fall. Hope you guys like them. You guys have, I assume we're going to be some of our testers,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Good.
Yes.
Excellent. We're going to bring those over to you.
We got to give
Nice.
credit for that one.
Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you.
Absolutely.
That's a
It was awesome.
great idea.
Yeah, we're
Especially-
family owned, right? Like the cream was mom's, you know, the bath salts, you know, man, it was,
There
it
you
was
go.
key
It's-
on that stuff. It's
And that's
so
what
much
I
fun.
like to see is, you know, the products that help heal us, really.
It's so fun creating.
And
It's so
everybody
much
getting together, working together to help, you know.
That's what this
Get it out
event's
there.
about.
My favorite part's the testimonials.
Yes,
I love
patient
hearing how
experience.
everybody's doing so much better now. That's my favorite thing in the world.
I hear you. I hear you.
Absolutely.
It's moving. It keeps us working to reach higher and better
It
products.
does.
It does.
It's giving people hope.
Yep.
Healing. So, what about you?
Well, I tell you what, I was a little bit, it kind of, we talked a little bit earlier about the vapes and everything, and obviously that's got a lot of national attention. And it was, I received an email this afternoon, and it came from the National Cannabis Industrial Association, and it basically was like a letter that they're going to submit to Congress, and I'm all about the decriminalization of cannabis, the removing it from the schedule. I was just a little bit surprised with the wording of it, because and I'll read directly from it so that way I don't misquote it. But the second paragraph of it specifically says, as the leading trade organization representing nearly 2,000 cannabis-related businesses, we are circulating a sign-on letter asking the Speaker of the House to deschedule cannabis and provide federal regulators with oversight of cannabis and related compounds. It's a common sense solution to a complex and serious problem. And I have a little bit of problem with that, primarily because I'm a lot more about states' rights, about allowing each state to kind of decide their future in part of based upon what the people think. And if you really frame that up for a second, you think about the federal government's role and the ability for them to, the vape, for example, to just really just shut down a complete section of the business. Why would you want the federal government to have oversight of cannabis and the related compounds? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, versus allowing each state to set their own guidelines, whether it be testing, compliance, licensing. I mean, shoot, we're more than half the way there already with allowing the states to do that. I just real careful about the wording and just allowing just a blanket statement, allowing oversight by the federal government. And I know you guys probably have a lot to say about that.
No,
not at all.
not at all. That's
Minimizing people.
Plus, what about all the
it's
fun
still
we've
just
done for
giving
7
certain
That's
people
exactly right.
They'll flip
the
everything.
power to figure
It'll take all the work that everybody's done for 788 completely out of the picture, and it'll just be whatever they want to put in place, and that'll be what's in
it
effect.
and pass.
I think we're a long ways away from
That's
handing the federal
nationally though,
government
too.
complete regulatory control over the cannabis
I hope
industry.
so.
I think we're a long ways away. There's just a lot that needs to be learned, a lot that needs to be settled out. I
Agreed.
think the states have a much better eye on what's going on inside their state
Yes.
to be able to regulate and control these things.
Yep.
I mean, the federal government still needs something to model any regulations over,
Yes.
and we are still developing those models.
Right.
Like
It can be a process of growth.
I think so too.
Not only that, it was like
Yes.
Educate.
I mean, that's all you can do.
not only this industry, but let's take a look, for example, at some of the federal oversight of certain things. And in case I dreamt it up, I think that there was a national opioid crisis of a government regulated substance from the FDA that created a health crisis. So how comfortable should we feel allowing the federal government to have oversight of some of those things? They don't have an exact track record of things of that nature. Really not going to go after or talk about the whole tobacco thing and everything, because I'm more of a freedom minded person and believes that that each person individually should be able to make their decision in terms of what they consume, what they purchase. So more about freedom and liberty, and I think that's a lot about what this movement is about.
Absolutely.
Exactly
Respecting
right.
each experience.
Yeah, that you could said it
Well,
better.
we're trying to bring more veterans involved. That's our biggest thing, is getting better.
The only reason the government would ever deregulate is so that big pharma could get involved, right? I mean, big pharma is the ones that are contributing to their budgets.
No.
So, I mean, that's the only real reason they would deschedule, especially so abruptly in that manner. I mean,
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Pretty much.
it's to hand the industry over to Pfizer and Bayer. I mean, that's
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Laura, we've talked about this on podcasts before, but just we always want the ability for each person to be able to grow their own medicine at home if they choose to do so. And you know, it wouldn't be much longer before any type of federal intervention that potentially could shut that down. And that's not what we want. That's not what this entire movement was about. I know you guys worked really hard in Oklahoma with your passing. You guys became legal like out of nowhere. Like you guys are very red state, and out of nowhere by ballot. And I can't remember. I think it was like you guys were outspent by people opposing the medical cannabis bill. It was like 4-1. You guys were outspent, where they were spending so much money to counter, you know, your guys' movements, and you guys like were like an army.
This is what saved our state. In a way.
Yeah, so you know, very exciting things happening in Oklahoma, and you know, this event, and that's part of what, you know, this podcast is about, is sharing the success stories of individuals with patients' outcome, but also business owners, people like yourself that are creating, you know, unique products that are truly make a difference. I'm actually seeing now like massage therapists are actually including cannabis oils and cannabis lotions into massage therapy as well. So I mean, it's just fascinating to see all this grow and evolve.
The more you know.
The more you know, the more people you can tell.
And there's never too much science.
I think it just should be a combination of all resources and you know, perspectives, and working together is the best thing we can do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it really is. I mean, the more we work together, honestly, the stronger we are. I mean, because we will be competing against the Pfizer's one day, right?
Right.
And if we're not working together now, then how are we going to compete, right?
I mean, it's just like that. My roommate told me today. She showed me that Greta Thunberg video where she addressed the climate. Did you see that on the U.S. CNN news?
No.
Oh, it's a young girl with Asperger's, and she addressed CNN. They're bringing a lawsuit against the world, I guess, for leaving the climate in the community. And like, she did an entire thing, and it was, I mean, it was so touching, just that she had so much passion. She said, "How dare you, you know, leave us, you know, and leave your future generations in such a, you know, awful position." And it was really, really moving. So it's just like doing things like that, what we, you know, do here, do nationally for, you know, all avenues of people.
There really are some really passionate people in this state. I mean, like, we meet them all the time. You know, I get the pleasure of traveling all over and meeting so many people who have these amazing grows or these incredible dispensaries, and they are just the most fun people in the world to work with. I mean, it's
welcome to Oklahoma.
I mean, you know, every time you walk in anywhere, you're there for an hour. You know, you're gonna be sitting talking to folks, and it's just about, you know, whatever's going on. People love talking about, you know, what they do here. People are just really passionate about it. There's some really good stuff that's being made here too.
It really is.
A lot of people are really taking a holistic medicinal approach to this, and I think the effects themselves are better effects, like overall. And I think they're just a lot better for you. I mean, it's really what you're looking for.
Higher consciousness.
It is, you know.
Literally.
I mean, there's a lot of states that came before us.
I like that one.
There's a lot of states that came before us. Like, we can learn those lessons from those states, right?
Absolutely.
We can
We all
press
learn
this
from each
movement
other.
so much further. Right?
Learn from
Oklahoma,
us.
right?
And that's what I loved when
we
we
can
passed
progress
this.
this.
Yeah, we kind of took everybody's what worked
Mm-hmm.
and then what didn't work from Colorado, from California, and we kind of blended it all together and made it our own.
In this red
Now
state.
people are following us.
It's the most compassionate laws in the country. Right? The most compassionate medicinal laws in the country.
I know.
Right?
And that's the one effect also.
Well, and it just goes to show you, when a community comes together, we get things done.
That's awesome.
And our cannabis community is absolutely
Amazing.
Yes, they really are. It's
So
a
much
fun
support.
group of people.
We'll get to
It's
see
really
Carlos a
fun.
lot.
Yes, absolutely.
Really.
I would love it if you could go ahead and one more time for our listeners, go ahead and plug your Facebook page, your social handles, how people can learn more about the work and what you're doing, please.
Yeah, so we're Red Bud Elixirs. You can come to our website, redbudelixirs.com, ELIXIRS. You can find us on Instagram. We're on there. Our Facebook, I'll shut it down a couple times. I've been there for a minute, but you know, when I have time, I definitely check the Instagram. And yeah, love all y'all. If you can get a hold of us, let us know about how things are going. If you've tried our product, we'd love to hear how you like it or what your experience was. Yeah, please let us know. Let us know. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome talking to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then if we want to go around the horn real quick, and any closing thoughts from our guest today, Laura, just kind of open mic at this point. If anyone has anything they want to discuss or share, let's go for it.
But I want to, get the to talk.
I'm Lindsay with Green Relief with Josh and Lindsay.
How you doing?
And we run a show that tries to help veterans. A lot of times people get drugs and their opioids or their psych meds, or all of a sudden they're dropped and they're left with nothing. We need to find medicine for them.
That's one of the main reasons we're having 23 deaths of suicides a day for veterans.
And
22, yeah.
And the knowledge isn't even just veteran based. It's just, I'm a veteran. I'm a fourth generation veteran. I come from a military family. So of course we're going to be, our hearts are going to be bigger towards veterans, but the knowledge is for everybody.
Nurse.
Yeah, one strain that one person's using to get off an opioid may not work for another person, but there may be someone else out there that used a different strain and a different ingestion type, and that's going to help them more. So that's what we're trying. Our show's all about, is helping share the knowledge. That's
sharing the knowledge, which is great.
I think it's awesome. We started 788 Media Group across the state, which is a collaborative media group, basically, where Mary Jane Media, Daryl Carnes, and John Fraser, and Old School, TMP, the Mother Plant, Billy Dunn, Josh and Lindsay, and anybody who wants to be a part of, collaborating or combining resources.
Wake Up and Grow.
And Roger Doris over here. Anybody. We just invite everybody who wants to help build and work together in the community. And now we've got our new friends, Red Bud.
Absolutely. I can't wait to try your product. In fact, that's what we do on our show. I'm one of those type of girls. I have to see it to believe it. I have to try it. And I'm not paying $50 for this bottle that I don't even know if it's gonna work for me.
We got you.
We got you.
So, what we do on the show every now and again, and what we will be doing together, tea time.
Yes, absolutely.
We're testing different CBD products,
all of it.
All of it. There you go.
He's got to
Full
go.
spectrum testing.
Sorry, buddy.
Sorry, darling.
No, you're perfectly fine. I was listening. I was enjoying it. So lots of great positive momentum in the Oklahoma market, and it's great to see the collaboration of different minds, different industries coming together. And a very valid point of what you alluded to, that if we allow each other to understand that this industry is growing, we focus on the health outcomes, the impact that this can make, and understanding by us working together, that will keep us from at some point where we potentially could see the bigger corporations come in and try to absorb this industry, and that's not what anyone wants. So hats off to you guys and what you're achieving. So Laura's any closing thoughts, and then Laura, please make sure to plug Cannabis Oklahoma Magazine and your sites and everything, please.
Yes, I just wanted to thank you guys for all coming.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Carlos. Cannabis Oklahoma Magazine. You can go to cannabisoklahomamagazine.com or follow me on Facebook at Cannabis Oklahoma Magazine. And then on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter as CannabMagOK.
Awesome. Very cool.
You can find us on Facebook, Green Relief, on the TMP channel.
Or tagged on anything 788 Media.
Or 788 Media. Absolutely.
There we go.
Because that's
I know, right?
all together.
I know.
All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Let's do it again sometime soon. Oh, I guess we will. We'll be back next Friday live, right? So enjoy your time there at the conference, the Green Grow Expo.
Wish you were here,
I wish I was there too. It'd be a lot of fun. We'll plan an event. We'll plan an event where we'll do a live stream, our podcast, our weekly podcast there from Oklahoma, and I think that'd be so much fun to do something like that. So we'll plan that soon.
Absolutely.
All right.
So that's awesome.
Have fun, be safe, and for all of our listeners, please make sure to like, share, and then also subscribe. Please share this work because, again, the algorithms work against our industry, so therefore the Google Analytics and everything, it really doesn't populate. So that only happens if you like and you share on your personal pages. So please continue to do that, and everyone have a safe and wonderful time there.
Thank you, Carlos.
We'll talk again soon.
Bye.
Take care.